I wrote to the Office of Open Records. I cited this last week.
Oh, okay.
There's the response.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
No, it's going.
You need this.
I'm good, thanks. Six o'clock, we will get started. You want to do roll call, Mr. Bush?
Oh, Ms. Ross.
Here.
Mr. Waller.
Present.
Mr. Bush here. Mr. Hendricks. Here. All present.
Pledge allegiance. Gary, you want to read that? One of you two?
Go ahead, Mr. Hendricks. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At the workshop, public comments seem to run through the entire workshop. So we're gonna clean things up a little bit. Public comments are only gonna be for the start of the meeting, and then we're gonna conduct our business and adjourn. So on that note, are there any public comments?
I got two things.
Please.
I'm going back on the website, and checking the last 3 or 4 months. There's an annual engineering report due by the month of June. There's nothing there. Has it been done, and do you have a copy of it? That's one. Number two is, I don't find the posting of the closure bond, which is an annual reauthorization, should have been done by July. Do you have anything on that?
It's sitting up in the finance office right now.
I'm sorry,
It's sitting in the finance office right now. They have it.
they have it?
Yes.
Why aren't you posting it?
You can add it to the website if you want on the website. It's never been posted before.
Should be.
Never
Then
been
I
posted
don't have to
before.
ask stupid questions.
Okay.
That was all.
I'll check with the finance department, see what their thought is on the bond being posted on the website. I don't know. I'll ask them. Anybody else?
I think we're talking about two different issues. I think what he's talking about is the actual security performance bond from Republic, as opposed to the, in lieu of performance bond from the county. So we're talking about two different records.
I'm talking about what he's talking about, and it's in the finance office
Are you
in
talking
Loudon
about,
County. The
Mr.
bond
Ashford,
from Republic.
are you talking about the in lieu, or are you speaking about the actual performance bond where they had to separate the two?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
Yes, that is the performance bond for the closure costs.
Okay, well, we're talking about two different two different documents. He's talking about the financial, you're not talking about the financial, you're talking about the security bond from Republic.
From Republic, that's.
Well, that's not what he's
Annual
talking about.
renewal.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, and it's sitting in the finance department. The copy of the bond is in the finance department, yes.
Well, we should have a copy of that because it's supposed to be reviewed every year, and put on the website. So he is.
If you're welcome to make a records request, and I'll provide it.
No, I'm not going to make a records request.
Okay,
It should be included.
okay.
Now, the other thing is I'm going to request again that the microphones be used because I cannot hear. So, that's going to be my request for the second month in a row. The other thing is, in your meeting minutes, Ms. Coffey's comments were not put into the meeting minutes. And she shared the same concern that I did about incomplete packets and whether correspondence from TDEC should be included, and that wasn't included in the minutes. Also in your minutes, and this is why I think it's important to get the packets before, not on the day of, because there were other errors. On page 2, it wasn't
Can you back up, Pat? Whose comments were missed?
Ms. Coffey.
Only 2 or 3 people got up during public comments. It was awful tough because people started voicing comments during the meeting. I don't know their names, and their names don't come out, so I can't put them in there and state that so-and-so
Well,
got
she
up for
spoke
public
during
comment.
public comment. It was during public comment,
Well-
but she came in late and she was the last person to speak.
Okay, well, we, today I didn't put one out, but we've had a sign-up sheet before, and so if people are gonna speak, I'm gonna have to know what their name is that they're speaking
Well, if
to.
there's a sign-in sheet, you know, it would be helpful to have it over here. But she did make comments during public comment, and that was her concern also. Also, on page 2, because I had to go back and look at the video, it wasn't a 3%, it was a 3.5% increase. On page 4, I think some questions were, I think it said, where was it? That there was an interruption, meeting interruption. Mr. Chris Kirby made a request to the chair, and the chair granted that request, that he could ask a question. And his question was about the daily cover and what the requirements were, and he also spoke about the buzzards. But it wasn't an interruption. He specifically asked the chairman if he could speak, and it was granted. Also, there was a discussion while the cover was being discussed about burning, and that they needed relief with regards to the buzzards, which they felt was being attracted by the uncovered waste. So that has to be inserted also. I think during that discussion, I said at least 3 times, because there was a comment about getting a permit to burn, and at least 3 times I specified that we cannot burn locally as per local ordinances. And the other thing is, there was a discussion about the burning on page 4, but at least 3 times I said that there was a burn permit was required. So I think those are important things to put into the minutes. So I hope those are addressed. And all I can say is that I hope that this commission, at the very least, adopts a policy of having the packets on the website at least 2 days before the meetings are held. For your sake, for our sake, so it doesn't turn into a records request that puts a burden on the chair, who has limited time because he works. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name's Brian Byers, and I'm just speaking on behalf of a few of my neighbors, Matlock Bend, Stockton Valley area. We feel like, Adam Waller, you are not fulfilling your seat as chair, and we would like to ask you to take into consideration to resign and let the board find somebody that's willing to take your place and hold Republic accountable per contract. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Is that all public comments?
Okay. Minutes from July 18th, 2024. Any changes from anyone up here?
The only change I noted was the link was wrong, so I corrected the link.
I'll need a motion in a second for those minutes
Make a motion, we accept.
with the link change.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Budget, here's what we looked at, put number-wise at the workshop, so is everybody comfortable with the numbers for the 2024-25 proposed budget?
Yes.
That's what we discussed in the workshop.
Correct.
I make a motion we accept this
A
the budget.
motion for Monty to accept this proposed budget, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The audit is not done yet. Mr. Vance and Ms. Murphy are working on a few things in the front half of it, so that'll be done by September. Buzzard update, buzzards are migratory birds, so we're now going to the USDA trying to figure out if there's a system to catch buzzards and relocate. There's also a permit to kill buzzards. So I'm not gonna go killing buzzards, but we're exploring all our options to see what needs to be done to help mitigate the buzzard at Mountain. Are those down there year round? Because they're migratory birds apparently.
I think they're like the seagulls, they come down a certain time of year,
Okay.
and come back the next year.
Okay. Do you know, Mr. Byers, are the buzzards all the way to your place, or do you know?
I don't see them where I live. Only
Okay.
time I see them towards my place, if there's been a deer hit
Yeah.
or skunk or possum on the road, I don't foresee them down that. I live at least 2.5 to 3 miles from the landfill.
Okay.
past it. So I don't see them
Okay.
unless there's dead on the road.
Well, we're still gonna work with the USDA and see what options are available, then we'll discuss it here more in depth. But I know that they do have a capturing system down by the dam where they capture buzzards and relocate them, and they also issue permits to eradicate them
Does
too.
it work?
Apparently it does, because they do it, so I don't know.
I
So,
think so.
do what?
I would think that
Yeah,
would work,
so-
relocating.
I know daily coverage was an issue that was brought up. Does Republic have anything to say after?
Operating with a permit, so
Okay, so I know there was a picture that I saw that it wasn't covered, so you're operating with a permit, so could I randomly request every now and then pictures to verify, trust but verify, is that
that's fine.
fair? Okay. So, be ready for me to start asking for pictures. So I know that Chris Klein's not on the agenda, but I know Chris Klein, was here and went over the 11 different issues with the notice of deficiency, number 2. And number 3 was the holdup, and we had a call Wednesday, with, the state geologist and the local geologist and Lou and Lou's boss here in Knoxville, and Chris Klein and people from Republic, and I was on the call, and they went through everything, and they hope to have everything back to us by Friday. So once we get that back, Chris will review it, and then it'll be sent on its way to TDEC to review. So I know mud is a concern, and we're still talking. Ms. Murphy's on vacation, but when she gets back, we're still in talks with Republic, as she mentioned last meeting, trying to find that source and how to solve it from the top all the way down. So that's
Thank you.
working on that. Anything from operation support from Republic? Do you want to just go through that, Dave?
Standard operations report, nothing terribly unusual. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Did you ever get pictures of the landfill that is not covered?
I've seen one, which we all saw at that workshop, and that was
Oh.
it. I've not seen anything beyond that.
Well, I know a request had been made to receive more pictures. Did that ever transpire? Did that happen?
I've not seen them, no.
Okay.
Liberty Tires, I know that are they just not dropping anything off anymore?
Liberty Tire was a material that was coming in the last year or so. They have begun taking that material to a C&D site in the Knoxville marketplace.
Okay.
There's a conference, next week, and, both our special waste rep and myself are actually scheduled to meet with Liberty Tire to discuss that situation.
Okay.
I actually had a phone call with her today specifically on that situation.
Asking where our tires are?
Well, I know where they're going.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Is that what are they going to, some kind of recycle thing?
No,
or-
they're going to a C&D landfill.
Oh.
They don't reach, so they could be permitted into a C&D landfill.
Is that just not a lined landfill?
Right. But they're managing the tires away, so we're wondering, why are we not getting your tire shreds?
Yeah. Yep. When do y'all think you will start building the cell?
Teresa Holly was there today. I think we're planning to start dirt work and that type of thing in September. Is that correct?
And what's the time frame on that? I know we won't have approval from TDEC for the expansion by then, you're just doing it, fingers crossed that it gets approved.
Yes.
What's the completion time on that cell roughly?
I'll get that to you specifically.
Okay.
I don't wanna speak.
That's
and-
fine, yeah, no, that's good.
'Cause it obviously starts with dirt work.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So is there anybody that's saying a timeline on getting this information back from TDAC, or they just don't give a timeline?
How do you mean?
Well, and getting the approval.
So right now, Monday, we hope to submit our NOD response number 2.
Right.
So then what's the timeline roughly from that? I know there's a public hearing that takes place regarding the expansion. Do we know, when do we expect, if everything goes smoothly,
Yeah.
the permit to be approved? Like what, like,
Signed off by the head of TDEC when, I know that's,
There'll be a 30-day notice for a public hearing period. We're hopeful of late October.
Okay.
Early to mid-November.
okay. Anything else from this board? Gary, Monty,
That's,
Mr. Bush?
No. I did ask the question on the fill, this, the volume, if you look at the volume, the material volume is up, from the special waste, it's like almost 50%, and it correlates with the fill that's being used.
That ADC?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, is there a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second?
I second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Been a pleasure. Have that camera switch in your drawer. Maybe actually Gary too's drawer. Sorry, Gary. Gary too. Maybe that's there.